Yeah, I'm back at Premium, and it's nighttime now. It's about 8 o'clock. Having some second thoughts about my design for the M3. So I figured to come back here, take a look at the wall here, take a look at the swatches one more time, and let's just say I think I've made up my mind, and it's gonna be totally different than anything.
You guys are the best. I'm like speechless right now.
I told these guys, I said, look, when we do this project, I want to make it like an experience. I want it to be an experience for you and everybody else kind of get to witness it, you know? It's not just a wrap. So that's why it took some time, but it's done.
I don't even have any words. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, this is awesome, dude. Oh my god.
Today, we're gonna be prepping the E36 for wrap. So obviously, as you guys can tell, the paint on this car is in horrible condition, and just so you do know that before I removed the Nardo gray wrap, the paint was totally trashed. So before you guys go crazy about, oh, you ruined the paint, you're sanding down the body, etc., etc., I just wanna let you guys know that this 1996 paint was in a world of hurt before. I can't wait to get this thing wrapped up in its new color. Can't wait to show you guys. I wanted to give you guys a quick update. The entire front end has been sanded with 600, then 1000 grit. There's just a couple spots I need to touch up, and I do need to get a little spot and glazing putty. You guys are probably not gonna be able to see that. There's a couple scratches or chips in the front here that I remember fixing before, but I want to do a better job on that now. Coming down to this side is almost completely sanded, looking good. I need to fix this. This is something that has been bothering me in the felony form fiberglass. Is actually 2 bubbles here. So I'm gonna work on that next, and then we're gonna start tackling filling the holes on the trunk. All right, and there we go. That is the finished product. You guys can see that's all the way down to the gel coat on the fiberglass, but rubbing your finger over this, you don't feel anything and you don't see any of those indentations. So I think this is good. We will definitely spray some black spray paint on this. That'll kind of confirm that everything is fine. So let's go ahead and keep moving on to the rear bumper and the roof and everything in between. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I'm not sure which spoiler I'm gonna run at the moment. I actually do kind of dig the wingless look, but I have these holes that I drilled before. So what I'm gonna do right now is actually fill these with fiberglass, sand them down, and if I wanna re-drill them later, I can. So before I do anything, I'm gonna take some tape on the backside, press it up against there so that I don't have that thick of fiberglass here, and then I will mix a little bit of the fiberglass. Let me show you how it's done. Just put some masking tape inside the holes right beneath the surface. Wipe this down with some acetone. So we are ready for the Bondo mixing. So not perfect, but I think I got it all filled. So let's go ahead and let this dry. Keep working on the rest of the car, and then we'll come back, start sanding that down. I might need a little bit of the glazing and spot putty, but that's not a big deal. So while that thing dries in the back, I'm gonna go ahead and focus here on the front bumper. I'm actually gonna strip everything off of it. Take off the OEM lip, take off the Rieger front lip, take off the canards that I just made yesterday, because as you guys can see, when we removed the wrap, a lot of the paint actually did peel off. Now that's because I actually repainted this entire front bumper the first time we wrapped it. So let me go ahead and remove everything, and then we will start to sand down the front bumper. Yo, what's up guys? It is the next day right now, and I'm back at the shop by myself once again. And I gotta finish up the front bumper and the rear bumper for sanding. So I wanted to give you guys a quick update. I am not 100% done with the prep, but most of the car has already been wet sanded down all the way up to 1,000 grit. Did clean up this section here. I still need to do the rear bumper, and I need to sand down this now that this is fully hardened. So I will grab the palm sander and we will start with maybe like an 80 or a 120 grit and get that back up to 1,000. So that'll be filled and ready to go. Other than that, the only other thing that I need to work on is going to be this front bumper here. This is going to be a little bit challenging, but nothing too crazy. Just has a couple of rock chips and some paint peeling. So we'll see how far I get today. But before I do anything, I'm just going to spray the entire car off with water because I want to see if there's any other spots. Obviously it's very difficult to see when it's just covered in all the wet sanding dust. So let me go ahead and spray this thing down, and then we'll bring it inside and start the sanding again. Alright, so this job is gonna get pretty dirty, so let me just go ahead and change my clothes with the magic of editing. Alright, much better. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the car in real quick. So I got my Ryobi little sanding machine here. Unfortunately, I only have 1 or 2 of these pads left, so I might be doing this the old-fashioned way, but let's see how far I can get with these. Get this nice and smooth, then work my way up the grits. Probably spray either a primer or a flat black spray paint to see if I got all the high and low spots, and then we'll be good to go. So the trunk is now all complete. I do think I might need to put on a little of the spot and glazing putty for final. There's a couple little pinholes in here, nothing too major. Obviously the car is filthy. All right, now that that is all squared away in the back by the trunk, let's go ahead and move on to the front bumper. This is kind of the part that I've been dreading the most. I'm going to start with probably 600 grit. I think that should be enough for these sections. I'm gonna try to not take off the front bumper for right now, just to save some time, and obviously this is gonna come off. Before we wrap anything, we'll probably do a final kind of touch up if there's any spots. But so I'll let the premium guys tell me where I need to sand a little bit more. I'm gonna prep this the best that I know how, and we'll just go ahead and start sanding. A little bit longer than expected, but honestly I really want to focus on making the prep work really good so that the finished product comes out better. Now if you guys don't know, wrap is kind of like paint where it really doesn't hide anything, so the more prep you do, the better quality of the finished product. Now one thing I wanted to mention is no, you do not have to sand the entire car down before you have to wrap something, but because my car was already wrapped once and the paint underneath was really bad, I wanted to do the best job I could to prep it up so that premium didn't have to do any of that type of work and that we could just focus on wrapping the car. Now, I'm not going to be telling you guys the color. It's gonna be a surprise. So guys, I think that's all the time I have for you in this video. If you like what you saw, please give it a big thumbs up. Consider subscribing. We'll see you guys in the next one.